Hello and welcome to Home with Sarah Jane. In today's video, I am just wrapping up some Christmas presents and chatting, so stick around. If you are new here, hello and welcome. My name is Sarah and I'm a homeschooling mom to two girls, ages 12 and 15. And if you are a returning subscriber, thank you so much for stopping by once again. I do really appreciate you. So I'm just wrapping up some Christmas presents. I mean, pretty last minute too. I think it's like December 22nd. But anyway, I'm wrapping up some Christmas presents and just kind of chatting today with some of the questions that were sent in to me. So before we jump into those questions, I did want to mention that, I do have, what I got my kids for Christmas, what I got my husband for Christmas videos. If you are interested in seeing what I'm wrapping up, I will link those down below for you. But we are going to jump right into it because I do have tickets to go see the Nutcracker with some friends and my girls tonight. And I'm cutting things really, really close. So let's jump into the first question. What is one of your Christmas pet peeves? Oh, I don't know if I have a pet peeve that's specific to Christmas. Let me think. Oh, okay. This one is kind of Christmassy. So I really don't like when I could see price tags on gifts. It's just something that bothers me. I don't know why. I understand sometimes there's accidents, like people might accidentally forget to remove a tag. That's fine. I would never say anything to somebody about it. But for me, if you've seen some of my videos, you'll know that when I'm making like gift baskets or I'm, showing a gift video or anything like that, that I will remove the tag if I can, the price tag, or I will cover it up with a sticker because I just don't like that. I don't know why it bothers me, you guys, but it does. So that is my Christmas pet peeve. Okay, the next one. What is your favorite Christmas tradition? Now, this one's kind of hard because we have so many traditions and it kind of changes year from year and it kind of changes with the ages of my kids. And then this year though, I'd have to say my favorite one this year that kind of gave me all of these emotional feelings when I seen it is our book ornament. So we have a family book ornament that we put on our tree every year. And inside this ornament is little cover pages or, covers to books. And all of these books inside this ornament are our favorite Christmas books to read every single year. So we add a new Christmas book every year to this book ornament. And this year we added in The Snow Thief. So what I'll do is I'll just print a tiny version of the book, like the cover, and I'll plop it in this ornament. And I just love seeing all of these Christmas books and the books that we've read over time. It's just, I don't know. There's just something about it. I love reading. I'm a homeschooling mom. I love books. So maybe that's why it's really hitting me. But also my kids are getting older. So adding to this ornament is going to eventually, it's going to stop, there's going to be a year that is going to be our last year, and so this little book ornament is just really special to me. My kids enjoy it as well. I'll try to remember to insert a picture of it, but I don't know. I love our family book ornament. It is just, I don't know. I love it. I just love it so much. Okay, next question. Why do you homeschool? What is your issue with public school? Oh, okay. So I wouldn't necessarily say I have this huge issue with public school. I mean, I have, things I don't like about it, but I have a ton of reasons why I homeschool. It's not like, it was one decision that made me say, no, I don't like this about public school. I'm homeschooling. It was a lot of things. And I would say the one that has the most weight for me, I guess you can say, is my kids are only kids once. I wanted to be there. I wanted to learn alongside them. I wanted to watch them grow. I wanted to watch them just experience new things. And I wanted them to love education. I wanted them to love to read. I wanted them to know that education doesn't stop after they graduate from high school. I really wanted to spend every moment with my kids that I possibly could. So homeschooling just seemed like the way to do that. So for me, it was just about being with my kids. Now, like I said, there's more reasons than that, but this is probably the main one. But it wasn't, when we decided to homeschool, it wasn't like I had children and I knew I was going to homeschool. We kind of started homeschooling at the last minute. So right before my oldest daughter was going into kindergarten, I decided that I wasn't going to enroll her in public school. I decided this is what I want to do. I want to try homeschooling and we'll just figure it out. So that's what I did. It was like a last minute decision, but it was like the best decision ever. And I do really enjoy homeschooling. It's Doesn't mean it's always easy, but we do enjoy it. It's just a lifestyle, and it's a lifestyle that I really enjoy. So it's pretty much knowing, I guess you can say, that our kids are going to grow. So I just wanted to spend, as much time as I possibly could. And homeschooling gives me that opportunity. So I guess that's the main reason. Next up is, how long have you been married? I have been married since 2005. There we go. I got there. I've been married since 2005. So I've been married for 19 years. Now, I've been with my husband for 21 years, but we have been married for 19 of them. Okay, next up. I know your husband wasn't on board with homeschooling at first. How did you convince him it was the right choice? I wouldn't really say I had to convince him to homeschool, but that is true. My husband was not on board when I started homeschooling, but he quickly came on board after we started homeschooling. So basically what happened was I just explained to him, we talked about it. I said, I have a lot of concerns, with putting Bella into public school. And one of my biggest things, like I said to him, was, I wanted to be with my kids more. So I told him that it was important to me to spend time with Bella, to try and do this at home, to try and educate her at home. And it was weighing on my heart knowing I was going to have to put her in public school. It just didn't feel like the right move for us. So when I sat him down and I kind of explained that to him, he was very hesitant, and he said, okay, well, let's just give it a try. Let's take this a year at a time. So we decided to homeschool for kindergarten, and then we loved it. So we just kept going. Now we just know that we're homeschoolers, and we always will be. So there's that one. But that is very true. He was not on board at first. So it was hard at the beginning. But, once he's seen our girls and how they grew and the way that they are as people, as young women, we knew that homeschooling was the right choice. And, now he does not regret it. So there's that. Okay, you disappeared for a while. How is your health? Oh, that's so nice of you to ask. Okay, so I did disappear for a little while. There's just been a lot going on. So I do have a few health hiccups is what I call them. I do have trigeminal neuralgia. So that is something that I do, I guess we could say, deal with or tolerate. And during the winter months, it is, I notice that I have a lot more flare-ups with my trigeminal neuralgia in winter. So I have been kind of really trying to take care of myself because of that. But one of the main reasons why I kind of disappeared for a while is that I think it was August or September, we ended up getting the 2020 sickness. And if you get what I'm saying, we got the 2020 sickness. And, my family's doing great and everything, but I had a really hard time bouncing back after that. My doctor believes I'm suffering from some long-term effects after having it. So overall, I'm doing better now. But for the last few months, I've been struggling with, catching my breath. My hair has been falling out. I've been having some issues with some of my joints. So, I needed to slow down. And there was no way that I could keep up with, creating content, homeschooling, taking my kids to a couple of on-site classes, dealing with this Christmas season, so I had to cut back somewhere. But one of the main reasons why is because when I was getting short of breath, it was really hard for me to actually talk in videos because I was constantly coughing and I was constantly needing to take a break. And I needed to take a break from filming because of that. But I'm doing okay now. Again, I do have trigeminal neuralgia, which, like I said, is harder in the winter time. But so far, it hasn't been super bad. It was more like the long-term 2020 sickness effects that I was having. So I am doing better. I'm still not 100%, but definitely better. But thank you for asking about my health. Okay, next one. How did you meet your husband? Oh, I did talk about how I met my husband before in another video. I can't remember which one, but I'll give you a brief overview again. But I met my husband when I was 12. We were in middle school. We were in the 6th grade. This is not like a beautiful romantic story, if that's what you guys are thinking. I can't say I wish it was. It was kind of a traumatic first It wasn't love at first sight. It was like trauma at first sight. So there's that. But the first time I seen my husband, he was actually hit by a car. And I mean, obviously he was fine. I'm married to him now, but I seen him get hit by a car when we were walking home from school. And a friend of mine kind of wanted to check in on him. And I didn't know him at the time. I just seen the accident happen. So my friend and I kind of went in and checked in on him, and we just became friends. So my husband and I, we have been friends since we were 12. We got engaged when we were 18. We weren't technically dating yet. I know we have kind of like a Benjamin Buttons marriage, I feel, but we got engaged when we were 18, and kind of started dating at that point. And then we got married when we were 20. So, I was very young when I met my husband. He's been in my life almost my entire life. So there's that. But yeah, we've been married for 19 years now. So, I mean, it may have been not the best first, first impressions, I guess you could say, but it did work out for us. Okay, next up. If you could go back, what would you tell your younger self about homeschooling? Okay. I feel like this is a pretty common answer, and it's just pretty much trust yourself and don't try and mimic or create a public classroom setting. That was something that I struggled with for a long time until it finally snapped in my brain that there's a reason why I'm not sending my kids to public school. Why am I trying to recreate it here at home? Like, when I asked myself that question, I realized what I was doing was I was making homeschooling harder by making it something that I was already trying to avoid. So I would just tell myself to trust myself and to have faith, because sometimes you need that faith to get you through a homeschooling day. So that's what I tell myself, is just trust in yourself. You got this. So don't try and mimic public school. Okay, next up. Will your husband ever be on your channel? I really don't see Luke getting super involved in Home with Sarah Jane channel. He does help me out with a lot of other things to help my, for me to do things like he might help me out in the garden. He might, do things like that, but he's not really an on-camera type of person. Now, I've never really asked him if he'd be on my channel. So, I mean, it's possible, but I don't really see that in the future, so there's that. Okay. Next up, how do you unwind after a long homeschooling day? Now, this one, it's different depending on how I need to unwind. Sometimes I need to mentally unwind. Sometimes I need to physically unwind. And sometimes I just need a minute to myself. So usually what I do to unwind would be like a home spa day. So I might take a bath, put on a face mask, try and make myself pretty. After being in like sweats and a robe all day, so things like that really help me. Sometimes it's as simple as like completing a task that I've been wanting to complete. That actually makes me feel better. That helps me unwind. So sometimes it's like cleaning out a cabinet, because I feel good after it's done. So those are the ways that I like to unwind. Another thing I like to do is read, because I read all day, every day to my kids when it comes to homeschooling, that sometimes I just want to read a book that I choose, not one that I'm reading to my kids. So sometimes just reading a book just makes me feel good. So those are like the little things. I mean, it also doesn't hurt that my sister is a licensed massage therapist either. So, I kind of have a little bit of a bonus there. So there's that. Okay, so next question. What is one book that you can read over and over again? Oh my goodness, you guys, this one is going to be so hard because there are so many of them. If you've been on my channel before, you know that we are Harry Potter fans. I will read Harry Potter, the whole series, over and over again. It doesn't matter how many times. Another book that I really enjoy is Esperanza Rising. Now, I know it's a children's book, but that book to me, there's just something special about it. My girls also enjoy that book. So Esperanza Rising is a really good book. I also really enjoy the classics like Anne of Green Gables. Love Anne of Green Gables. So, things like that. I read a lot of classics and a lot of children's books. I always have. But those are the ones that I kind of gravitate towards. The Family Under the Bridge. Oh my goodness. That's another really good book that I love to read. Again, it's another children's book, but I love it. I used to read a lot of like Anne Rice. I used to read a lot of books by Anne Rice. I used to read a lot of books by Stephen King. I haven't had time to read anything like that lately. But I do read a lot of children's books and classics, but I do enjoy those. So there's that. Again, it's so hard to just pick one because I love a lot of them. I have so many books on my, to be read list right now that hopefully in 2025 I could get to them. Okay, next question. What are you finding challenging when it comes to raising teenage girls? This one, there's a lot of things that can be challenging, I guess you can say, which is raising teens in general or kids at any age. There's always some kind of, challenge, with each age. But I'd say right now, this is probably a little bit different than what you're expecting, but I say right now, Bella's my 15-year-old and she is extremely extroverted. She is very bright and bubbly. She loves to be around people. She loves to hang out with friends. She's very social. She's naturally just very extroverted. I don't know how else to explain it, but she's very on the go. She makes plans. She likes to go out and do things. That is very challenging for a mother like me who is not that. I am very much an introvert. I like to be home. It's not that I don't like to be around people. It's just I'm not one of those people that like to be in like large groups of people. I kind of like I said, I like being at home. So it can be really challenging having an extroverted child that has so much going on, that's, loves to hang out with friends, loves to go and do things when I'm not naturally like that as a person. Now, obviously, we make it work because she is my daughter and she deserves these experiences, especially throughout high school, to go and, interact with her friends and take advantage of all of these high school activities that are only going to be coming around, once in her life. So she really does deserve that. So I do make sure that, on days that I know that is going to be challenging for an introvert like me that doesn't necessarily like to be put in these social situations, I just make sure that I keep that in mind because it is very challenging to have somebody, like Bella, the Bella of the ball, who's basically involved in all of these school activities. Yes, we homeschool, but she's also involved. She does a couple of on-site classes at a local charter school. So she gets to take advantage of activities there and like prom and winter formals and all of that through this charter. So I just have to keep in mind that, this is just a season that we're in right now. It is not going to be like this for me forever. And she's not going to be in high school forever. So just making sure that I keep that in mind because it is very challenging, like I said, to have such an extroverted child when I am not naturally extroverted. I am very introverted and so is my younger daughter. So that I would say is probably one of the biggest struggles for me right now as a parent is just that difference between us. So yeah, a little bit different, I guess you could say, for an answer. But yeah, I would say that it's definitely trying to balance introverted and extroverted parent and child situations. Okay, now here's the last question because I have to wrap this up. We are going to the Nutcracker, like I was saying earlier, and I'm cutting it kind of close. But the last question is, how do you find time to keep up on your garden, homeschooling, and your home and your YouTube channel? Okay, here is the magic answer. You guys, I don't keep up on everything. Okay, I can't do it all. I know I can't do it all. And I think that coming to the realization that I can't has actually made me feel better about not being able to keep up with everything. So I do also want to say is that I do have help. So my sister does help a lot when it comes to the garden. She does help out a lot when it comes to my kids. Like my sister will sometimes even just have my daughter Lydia. She'll like take her and, they'll go to lunch, or she'll take both of my girls to lunch, and I can have a little bit of time to myself, so having, that support team. My sister, she does do a lot with my kids. My husband, he, obviously he works so that I could stay home and manage everything here, but he does help help when it comes to, picking up the house and all of that. So I don't want anybody to think that I'm here doing it all, because I am not. And to be 100% honest with you, my garden even right now is a mess, and we are starting to just, clean it up again, because, the season was over and we're in winter, and we only have a few vegetables going out there currently. So I don't keep up on everything. And I do have help. So when it comes to the YouTube channel, I did just recently take a break. If you're new here, I did take a break around October, November, December. I did not post as much because, again, I couldn't keep up with my YouTube schedule, and then homeschooling, and then, the Christmas season, so there are some times that I just have to take a break, and I just have to be okay with that. I have to remind myself that it's okay to not do everything. Another thing that is helpful, which is not where everybody is going to be, is my kids are older. I have a 12-year-old and a 15-year-old. My kids are not little anymore. When my kids are hungry, they can make food themselves if I'm not, able to get into the kitchen to do something, like if I'm off working. So with my kids being older, it helps more. They, their chores are, like my oldest daughter, she takes care of cleaning the kitchen most of the time. My younger daughter, she does the dining room. So like, making sure that we're balancing chores and school and all of that together as a family is very helpful, because I don't keep up with everything. And even when I do have help, sometimes I still can't keep up with everything, and that's when you see me take a break from YouTube or, things like that. So, but that is it. That was the last question for today. I am so sorry if I missed anybody's questions. It's just, like I said, I have to wrap this up because I have tickets to the Nutcracker. But thank you all so much for supporting my channel. I hope you all have a very Merry Christmas and a safe New Year, and I will see you in 2025. Bye.